about UFOs.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well, naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
All right. That was part of News Nation's exclusive interview.
No, but I want to watch the interview. Hold on.
You are one of the most trusted former intelligence officials in the US defense and intelligence establishment.
Yes, I was.
You were trusted with the most intimate secrets.
Yes.
Grush sitting down with award-winning investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who's reporting for News Nation and has spent years reporting on the UFO question.
What conclusion did you come to at the end of your time on the UAP task force?
A blurry photo.
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No. I thought it was totally nuts, and I thought at first I was being deceived. It was a ruse.
Yeah, so I haven't seen this yet. This is my first time. I had heard of this because the story is pretty popular right now. A lot of people losing their minds. A lot of people being like, well, we have it. We have definitive proof. We got a whistleblower. We got someone at the highest levels of intelligence in the United States who's got, irrefutable evidence that this is not only a fact, but it's a multitude of facts. There's not just one alien species, multiple alien species for all of us to experience for the first time. Yeah, I'm a little bit in the camp of pics or didn't happen, not just because I want the pics, but more just like beyond pics, maybe more than one person would be nice to come forward and talk about this. I've said this before. I actually do believe in alien life. I think just mathematically it would be more unsensical of me not to believe, just based on the size of the universe, the multitude of space between galaxies, all that kind of stuff, that there hasn't been development of intelligent life in other parts of the world. Most likely there could be. They could be in early stages, could be just in that kind of like initial, it's just a giant rock with a lot of water, and then it just needs a little bit of electricity and some bacteria to get cooking. Who knows what stage it's all at. It's just, to me, if they, again, had the ability to travel all the way here, and that requires a lot of technology that is just theoretical to us, we wouldn't even be able to do it with traditional technology. You need technology that does not exist insofar as we know how to manipulate the laws of physics itself. So that's as far as we would have to understand it. Well, if you want to travel vast distances, you theoretically would have to create a wormhole similar to a black hole to travel through without dying the different parallel universes that exist, and somehow, like, yeah, okay, so it's pretty nonsensical. So if they had those powers and they came all the way here, again, to me, it's kind of like, why would they want to just come here and be ghosts or bend the grass? It seems like there's a lot cooler things you could do than like make circles in fields, just big circles and lots of little shapes and stuff that humans have been proven to be able to do with like a piece of wood and a couple of ropes. You can do the same, but I'm just saying it probably would be not at the top of my priority list. If I had discovered, again, an entire civilization, let alone multiple civilizations on a planet that hosted a ton and a variety of different life forms, I would be like, ooh, well, this is fucking wild. We did it. We successfully traveled through different, again, either galaxies or dimensions, and in order to be able to arrive here, now we have quite the discovery upon our hands. Let's go be ghosts. Let's go like, woo! Let's go scare some people.
People started confiding in me. They approached me. I have plenty of current and former senior intelligence officers that came to me,
That's probably
many
not
of which
aliens.
I knew
Cool.
almost my whole career, that confided in me. They were a part of a program. They named the program. I've never heard of it. And they told me.
Oh yeah, see, here's the thing. If they were able to detect Twitter, if they were able to pick up our own, because everything's broadcast through satellites now, right? So if they were able to intercept some of our social media and took one look at Twitter, game over. Game over. There's no intelligent life here. They would turn right around. They would be like, oh no, this is a dark place where no life doth tread. We must part it immediately.
Based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof that there was, in fact, a program that the UAP task force was not read into.
Grush alleges the U.S. government has recovered non-human craft for decades. He's filed a whistleblower complaint saying he gave what he calls the classified proof to Congress and the intelligence community inspector general. NewsNation has confirmed David Grush's credentials and resume. We've not seen or verified the alleged proof he says he's provided to investigators. He says he can't show us the proof for national security reasons.
Of course.
He also tells us he's not seen photos of the alleged craft himself, but has talked extensively with other intelligence officials who have.
If you're right, if you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated.
Well, I mean, more significant than that, I know this is going to be a little of a blow to the American ego, but like I would say the very understanding of how we know physics to operate has to be called into question, because like someone has managed to successfully, again, travel such vast sums of distance in which we don't have any known mechanism for how to pull that off. We don't know how to travel past light speed and beyond. In theory, you could do such and such, but like we still, so that would probably be bigger news. I would say the entirety of the scientific community would be like, oh, wait, what? Oh, okay, so you can do that. Oh, neat. All right, so we got to figure something out now.
Disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of...
Well, naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
It's also harder.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's cool. Again, it's just like, it's one of those things where what you are implying is that there is a other intelligent life form somewhere that is capable of doing something which we don't even comprehend in terms of our understanding on how to accomplish the travel alone. Like, there's so many other factors to talk about. Just the ability to reach point A to point B and not basically age out the universe as time becomes relative and folds upon itself or anything like that. Or how do you travel through a wormhole? How do you create a wormhole? How do you travel through a black hole and survive? What happens when you travel through a black hole? Does time cease to exist? Does time split into both the past, present, and future simultaneously as you enter the wormhole? Like, all these kind of things. That's all that goes into this. It's not as simple as being like, the gray aliens arrived and the spaceships and the big dishes and the pots and the pans were flying through this, and they landed, and then the soldiers showed up, and then all the army men were like, oh, what are then? And then they were like, yeah, we're the aliens, and they're like, ooh, and they're like, ah, and then they all hung out, and then they were frenzies, and then everyone fucked, and then after that, it had to be classified. Had to be classified at the highest levels of government, so no one would ever know this occurred. Yes, for safety, of course.
For people to wrap their minds around the concept of a crashed object from somewhere else, it's easier to accept that, yeah, we see things in the sky that we can't explain.
Journalist Leslie Kane broke Grush's whistleblower story this morning in the debrief. Ms. Kane's career has been mainstream and credible, having written a series of reports on UFOs in the New York Times dating back to 2017.
It's not like Arrival. That's the one where, like, I should have sent a poet, right? Oh no, Arrival's much better. That's Denis Villeneuve. What am I saying? I apologize to Denis Villeneuve. I don't want no smoke. Hey, Denny, don't come after me. I love your shit. Honestly, you're an auteur, okay? You're the only good Canadian filmmaker. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that because you're technically from Quebec, so you're the only good Quebecois filmmaker. Please don't at me. I know I'm fucking stumbling and falling right now.
Credentials, but there's no documents that he's handed over. There's no pictures. And as a journalist, you want to see documents, you want to see pictures. Does that raise a red flag?
Not at all, Brian. I mean, you mean documents that actually describe the craft?
Correct, yeah. Like,
or I don't know how they bent the very laws of physics to be able to travel interdimensionally. I want to know how they traveled interdimensionally. Did they travel interdimensionally? Did they cross through other dimensions? That's more interesting to me than you just being like, we know for a fact that aliens are real and they've landed. Yes, several of them. Wait, what kinds? Oh, a lot of them. Some of them have enormous penises. Yes, strange aliens with enormous penises have arrived. Different kinds, different colors too. It's amazing. We know this. And they have amazing ships too. Yes, it's all very real. No, I want like how'd you get here? That part that's the fascinating part to me. And then yes, obviously I would like to see some photos and meet them and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm open to new things. But I'm just saying, like, that's way more fascinating than whatever the fuck we're going on about. Tell me what they look like. I want to see the photos.
Making this up. This is
No.
not a lie.
No, absolutely not.
Because everybody watching this right now is looking at your face. They're going, is this guy for real?
I am for real. And I'm, you know,
You for real. I am for real. But are you actually real? Yes. Real. My word.
I'm sitting here at great personal risk and obvious professional risk by talking to you today.
I don't know. I don't see the snipers. I don't see the scopes. I don't. I haven't heard of anyone trying to arrest you. Have you been followed, sir? Have you been traced? Are people like in your backyard taking photos?
And just within the last 10 minutes or so, the Pentagon has released a statement to News Nation about this report. They say to date, Arrow has not discovered any verified.
You know what? So as a leftist, I'm not one to really ever take what the Pentagon says with less than a grain of salt. Let's just say that much. But in this case, I'm going to say they're probably a little on the up and up. You know, this seems like a fair statement. I'm just saying based on my very limited understanding of how physics works.
Viable information to substantiate claims that any programs regarding the possession or reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials have existed in the past or exist currently. Arrow is committed to following the data and its investigation wherever it leads. Arrow, working with the Office of the General Counsel and the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, has established a safe and secure process for individuals to come forward with information to aid Arrow in its congressionally mandated historical review. Arrow's historical review of records and testimonies is ongoing and due to Congress by June 2024, and Arrow welcomes the opportunity to speak with any former or current employee or contractor who believes they have information relevant to this historical review. And Elizabeth, we know that David Grush, he's filed that whistleblower complaint. He's been on the record under oath testifying to many of these things that he said in our report tonight.
Right, and it's important to point out that this statement from the Pentagon from Arrow, Grush is alleging that this top secret program is keeping it a secret from Arrow. So.
Oh, there's so many problems in the world right now. So many things we need to kind of like conquer. So many things we need to kind of like organize and band together. Climate change, that's a big one. It's kind of wild that it's like, let's dedicate a whole bunch of time to this story and then actually treat it like it's 100% real. It has to be.
Grush sat down with investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who is reporting for News Nation on the bombshell whistleblower complaint filed with Congress.
Is that the extent of it? I think that's the extent of it.
As it relates to this subject, and I think the obtuse secrecy is actually putting us in a very dangerous position where a country might make
we do need a project manager. I'll agree with that.
It's an adversary of ours. And it is so destabilizing.
The secrecy is the main reason Grush says he is coming forward.
But like, this is the part that just guts me of this whole story. It's like, okay, so you can't show us the aliens. Now I can't do that because national security. Okay, fine. But you can tell us that these aliens exist. Yes, I can. I can also tell you there's multiple species of aliens and multiple spacecrafts. So you can tell us all that. That's not a risk of national security. No. But if you were to show us what they actually look like, yes, that's a risk of national security. Once you see them, once you see their twisted designs, you know, the H.P. Lovecraft of it all, then no, the national security of the United States will be called into question, and I don't want to jeopardize that. But I do want to go on a bunch of TV shows to talk about these super cool aliens that I definitely know are real, and I'm a real whistleblower. Please take me seriously. Do you enjoy the Serfs, but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you kindly to our Lord and Saviors Peyton L. Just and Xander Corvus. Without you, we are nothing. And now, a shout out to our Knights of the Square Table. Amazing Flesh, Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, DM Rivera, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hegbard Celine, Izzy Solidarity, La Media Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimondi, Nettle, Omni, Peanut Butter Blonde, Political Papi, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Kubi, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demmel, Thomas, Trevbot EXE, Lucidry, Words Greenwood, Cheryl Alvarez, Tony Perkins, Thomas, O'Pecker, Travis McClinton, and Victoria Bell. Thank you so much. And a huge shout out to all the other people who make this entire show possible. Without you, it would not exist. If you can support us, please go to patreon.com/theserfs, and even $1 can help unlock all of the little goodies and help make this show entirely possible.